Discussion Sports. This is the new channel, the new sports channel. You guys may have seen, Marcus and I do one of these live streams. Not even a live stream, it was just a video on this channel that we were talking about. I think was it the first Cowboy game of the season?
It
Marcus
was.
and I was here.
Yep. About 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago. But we're here now to give you guys more of Drinks and Discussions, sports related topics. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let me introduce our host in case you're not familiar with Big Jake, Marcus. I am Brian. We're Drinks and Discussions. Hello, gentlemen. How are you guys doing today?
A little under the weather, but I'm hanging in there.
Oh no, man. Sorry to hear that. Sick.
Bro.
Little head cold.
You're the second buddy of mine that I've actually heard saying that they were feeling a little under the weather.
Yeah, it's that change of the seasons. It's starting to hit me hard.
Hear that? I'm trying to make sure that we are going live. I don't see. Making sure our video is showing. Yep, it's showing on that channel. It's on that channel. In case you guys didn't know, too, we are streaming this. I'm trying to do, and hopefully it works out. I'm trying to stream this on multiple YouTube streams. So if you're watching us on our regular Drinks and Discussions channel, you probably are not going to watch it. You're probably going to be over there on your own. Because we have other, we're streaming this and watching this on our side from the Drinks and Discussions Sports channel. So if you're over there on the Drinks and Discussions General, please hop on over to the Drinks and Discussions Sports channel. The link is in the description of the video on the promo. It's also on the bottom of our bottom of our main page. I'm going to throw it in the chat too, just in case anybody wants to come over there and get to see that as well. And you should be able to see that on your screen, regardless of which one you want to be.
Oh, okay. I see. You're streaming it on the regular one.
Yes, I'm streaming it on the regular one just in case some of the followers want to come over here and see us over here, because we get a lot of flack for talking sports on the general topic. So this is why we moved it over here, guys. And I see you, Silly Rabbit and Truth Teller over there. So if you guys want to come on over, man. This is where the discussions is going to be. But I think we can still see it on our main stream anyway. So it doesn't matter where you are. Hello, Sharon. I'm asking you also to get off of Facebook and go to YouTube, subscribe, send all of your followers also over here to the YouTube channel as well. We appreciate it. Let's get into the drinks portion of it, guys, because I'm going to have to reach over here and grab mine while you guys discuss what you're drinking. Jake, you want to go ahead and kick it off?
Oh, got something simple, nothing fancy, just some Dr. Pepper.
There you go.
That's my wife's.
Yeah, nothing. Oh, go ahead.
That's my wife's favorite. She likes Dr. Peppers as well.
I like the cherry kind too. That's my favorite, but they were out, so.
Hey, V. Welcome aboard, sir. Welcome, and appreciate your joining us over here.
Yeah, I've just got my regular Mountain Dew Zero. I got some water as a backup. Nothing.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a story before I tell you mine. I actually do have a bottle of water because I'm going to also drink, but I'm not going to be hitting it hard today because most of you guys know it. I went on a golf tournament this past weekend and we drank an awful lot, awful lot. And I didn't want to drink yesterday, but again, that was Monday and the Cowboys played, so I drank beer with my neighbor, Sharon, who's actually in the chat, or what? No, she's on she's joined us on YouTube. Yay!
Yo, Sharon, what's happening?
Oh yeah, I forgot you did meet Sharon. That's right. Um,
Hey,
so
Brian.
hang on a second. So I drink a lot, and I'm going to drink. I drank yesterday, so I'm going to have a little bit of the scotch. Same thing I had from last week. It's the Brooklotti scotch. See that? And I'm probably not going to drink a whole lot of it, so I'm got water to back it. What's up, Jake? Sorry.
Um, cameraman. He's asking why we're not in the actual Drinks and Discussions server. Did you send him a link or
Um,
to
yeah, you
the
can
chat?
if he wants to talk sports, he can definitely come in on the Drinks and Discussions. You can send him the link. Yes. But you might have to go in and actually give him permissions. I might have to give him permissions because this is a private one. Let me go ahead and add. But send him the link and I'll add him.
How do you send the link?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Channel? Okay.
Got your cameraman. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Cameraman is there. That is that. Cameraman, you got a link coming to you right now in your Discord right now.
That's why I didn't see anything. I didn't
There you
have
go.
permission to channel.
Yeah, so you didn't have permission. This is a hidden one server. And the reason we did this one on other than the other ones because we just didn't want people to just pop into this one because it is sports and everybody just wants to be on there and it's just a little bit more control on it. So I think that works out.
Ew, there's people that actually want to talk about sports.
Listen, that's what I was telling you. If you want to be, if you want to be over here, this is sports related topics. It's not about winning and losing games, but there are some things in the sports world that we're going to be talking, and we're going to be talking about them over here.
Oh, this should be interesting. Anything like good and juicy to start off with?
Well, let's see. Before we get started, are you drinking anything? Tell us what you're drinking. And wait, let me just say this real quick. Hello, Coach Kruger. Hello, hello. Yum, I see Yum is over there on the other channel watching this on the sports side. Veen, I want to make sure I said hello to you if I hadn't already. Dick Insider, hello. We're on the sports channel. And
an eye
Thumper
on the, main
88.
channel.
Hey, Thumper 88, welcome. And don't worry, we will be talking about the Cowboys win. And did I see? Oh, Paladin. Hey, Paladin. Hello. How are you as well? I thought I saw Liz, but I could have been mistaken. But I know she doesn't like sports, so I didn't want to get too excited about saying that she was going to be over. Okay. So, the camera guy. Are you going to be drinking anything with us tonight?
No, I am not much of a drinker. The most I drink is Mountain Dew, to be honest.
Well,
But I smoke a
Attaboy.
metric F ton of weed, though. So
Marcus is a non-alcoholic drinker, so Drinks and Discussions is not alcohol in discussions. It's a drink. So whatever you're drinking, let us know. Drop us a line in what you guys are drinking in the chat as well. And let's get started. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Skull.
Is Coach Kruger related to Lon Kruger?
I don't know.
I can't remember if he's still the coach at OU or not. But...
No, he's not the coach. Well, I don't know actually now.
No, I know.
Yeah, I was say. I forgot you. Or you're an OU guy, so I mean, yeah, that's your team, so you should know all this stuff.
That all depends. Whoever's the coach at anywhere right now, they're only there until somebody comes forward.
Okay, so
also forgive me, everybody. I'm a little sniffly today. I'm got a cold, so bear with me.
Not a problem. Not a problem. And I hope everybody can hear us on the chats. If you cannot hear us, let us know if there's any type of my mic gets low or whatever. I kind of adjusted the microphone. It looks a little different, so hopefully you guys can hear us fine.
88's drinking my vodka.
Yes.
Right.
Your microphone gets what?
Some people say it gets low and people can't hear me in the chat, but sounds like it's okay.
It gets what?
Stop it. I fell for it once. I'm not going to do it again. Hey, and Thumper, seems like you're feeling better, by the way, because you're on the vodka. So that's good news. Good to see that you're feeling a lot better. So there was someone, Yum was actually saying, what did she miss about Brett Favre? And Sharon is drinking a lemon drop. Ooh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
oh, me as a guy that had fashion really, is this Brett Favre taking federal funds over the
Yes.
COVID thing?
Yes. This is what we're talking about.
See, I have heard about this.
Yep.
So it's not the COVID. Was it the COVID money that he or misappropriated? Let me get the backstory first, and then we'll kind of get into
COVID
the
relief money.
I think
So
it
then
was
we'll-
COVID money.
yeah. So we'll take it from the general perspective first, and then we'll dive in a little bit deeper. So in case you guys didn't know, Brett Favre, and I'm not even sure if it's really an investigation other than just reporting. I haven't heard any type of investigation being launched or any criminal charges just yet. But he has been accused of misappropriating funds that he had received, and it was well into the millions, I believe, of money. I think it was like 20-something million. Somebody's got to look that up and give me the right number if you can. And that money was supposed to go to poorer families, Mississippi's poorest communities. And what he did was he took that money along with the ex-mayor, might have been the governor, they ran this scheme to build a new volleyball stadium for a college team in which his daughter was a member of the volleyball team, Brett Favre's daughter. And they have texts now that have come out, showing that they knew that they were creating a scandal. They were doing things that were illegal. Now, I'm going to give you guys some more backstory on Brett Favre, but I want to know what you guys think just so far right now of what is going on with Brett Favre and the ill-gotten gains of and to build this volleyball stadium. And hello, the conversation guy. Hello.
Well, apparently, this stadium is a thing to behold. You know, one of the apparently they have
Better be. Someone's gonna go to prison for
they
it.
have weddings at this place, and so I don't know. But it's at the University of Southern Mississippi, which is Brett Favre's alma mater. So the same school his daughter went to.
I'm going to actually show a picture of it here in a second, guys, in case you wanted to see the stadium. But go ahead, keep talking.
Well, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, my opinion would be on that one with the way the government's cracking down on all this frivolous money that it gave away. That the people like Brett Favre in this instance that are going to get caught up in this, I don't think he's going to do any jail time unless they're looking to make a point out of him. And I don't see them doing that with him being such a big name. But he's going to pay a large, hefty fine, pay all the money back plus the fine, and then we'll never hear this again.
Well, let me tell you what my take is, because if you guys are in the chat, you should be able to see the link. I'll put it in both chats, actually. You better see this thing. And again, in case you guys didn't know, we are actually multi-streaming on multiple platforms. So if you see some things on one of our sides and don't see it on the other, that is because we're on two different channels at the same time. And it seems to be working pretty well so far. Okay with it. So let me give you a little bit background story on Brett Favre in case you guys have forgotten. Brett Favre is no hero. He's nobody to look up to. Because do you remember, and I'll get into the misappropriation of PPP loans and all that kind of stuff in a minute. Brett Favre is an asshole because...
Now, why would you say such a horrible thing about Brett Favre?
do you remember the dick pics? Hello, you guys can hear me?
No,
I've heard about that.
Yeah,
What?
I heard about it.
I didn't hear anything about no
So-
Brett Favre getting caught up with no dick pics.
So Brett Favre was married while he was actually still playing, and was actually having inappropriate conversations and text messages with a executive, or I think maybe even a cheerleader for the New York Jets. Now, she was like, I don't want anything to do with this. This is kind of creepy, Brett. And Brett was like trying to say, oh, let me impress you with my tiny penis. And it was a big deal. I think there was actually places where you could have actually seen the dick pic. And it became kind of a laughing stock. I mean, it wasn't something that you really needed to be bragging about. So that was number one. That was number one. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just telling you the story. I'm not trying to poke fun of his manhood. I'm just saying that's how it was relayed in the story. And then there was another controversy with Brett Favre just, being a terrible teammate in Green Bay. He wasn't a very nice guy. So this doesn't surprise me that Brett Favre is doing this. And since this has all started to break, people are, one, surprised because this is not making headline news on all the networks, on all the sports channels all the time until they do something about it. But also, Brett Favre just got released from his radio station on Sirius XM radio. And this has been going on, by the way, for at least a month or longer. And he just now received a discipline from his radio station. What say you guys?
I don't know.
Well, that's what those contracts, they have morality or, conduct clauses in them that say you will or will not conduct yourself in such a way.
Because if you
Okay.
do, you'll end up breaking that contract, and then
Yep, and
you're
now we
out.
can just kick you out and or renegotiate you down to practically nothing and bend you over a barrel. But yeah, that's why you always read the fine print.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like his contract probably had like a morality clause in it.
Yeah,
saying that,
they always do.
yeah.
Well, so here's
It's the easiest way to trip somebody up.
So here's what I was going to say. Go ahead, Marcus.
No. I was. Yeah, no, go ahead. I can wait.
So what I was going to say is that the reason also people, and I saw Shannon Sharp on his show with Skip Bayless, was really just railroading Brett Favre and the coverage because no one's really talking about it. And it may be because the mainstream media is just burying it and it's not really like front and center. And if they did a better job covering this, it would have been better. Because here's the narrative I'm hearing. If it affected people that weren't the poorest of the poor in Mississippi, it'd be a better story. If it was a black athlete trying to bamboozle something, they were saying it would have been a better story, a bigger story. Because people like to read when black athletes are doing something in regards to breaking the law. If it's a Michael Vick story, if it's Deshaun Watson story, I mean, these kind of things are you hear about those all the time. But this Brett Favre story, it's huge, is getting kind of buried in the media, and I don't know why.
What? Well, you said it. He's not as valuable as someone with darker skin. He's not as valuable to the networks, I should say.
Right.
In that regard.
In that aspect, you're trying to get would be able to sensationalize it more and then, be able to run it for more airtime. But Brett Favre, as he is, it's like, yeah, we can talk about it for a second, but then we're segueing over to this because, we can't sensationalize this. It would be more effort than it would, be worth.
Keep talking. I'm typing in the chat, so go ahead. Keep going.
I mean, that's all but so how long did you say this was going? This has been going on for a few months, you said?
Yeah, it's been going on for a while, and I just don't understand why it has been kind of pushed. And I've seen some of the things in the chat which I was commenting about. They said the Fox News has been covering it. They also have been covering it. I saw First Take with Stephen A. Smith make one segment on it, and he actually said in his opening statement about it, he didn't even hear about this. He had not heard about this type of this thing regarding Brett Favre.
Oh damn! If Stephen A. Smith hadn't
Mm-hmm.
heard about it, man, that says something right there.
That's kind of,
which means a complete sports layperson like myself, I'm never gonna hear about it.
right. So if you're not into sports and you really don't follow, day-to-day stuff, I look at sports every day. I have ESPN on in the mornings when I'm in here in my office, while I'm having my cup of coffee to get the day started. I'm watching it probably before I go to bed. So it was one of those stories where I don't know what the ramifications are going to be. Is it going to be some type of jail term, kind of a scandal, or is it something that you have to pay back the money that you earned? Because there was another scandal too, I believe, that he was involved in right before this one as well, where things around him are just kind of getting a little bit sketchy around Brett Favre. And one of the things Shannon Sharp had said also was when they selected Brett Favre to the Hall of Fame, no one brought up all his past, and no one kind of like gave him a no bid, a no vote because of his troubled history. But when they came to like people like Terrell Owens, who was absolutely a beast on the field, he had some off the field issues, and he was kind of like, when he was in the locker room, he kind of tore apart locker rooms as well. And they were just saying that how different people are being looked at, even in the NFL Hall of Fame selection. Because if you put the numbers on paper, Brett Favre is really a mediocre quarterback. He won 1 Super Bowl, but his stats are not really that great. Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, but he's marketable.
Yeah.
Well, you're not marketable in
didn't
the
he
Hall
get
of Fame. Go ahead, Marcus.
Oh, I was gonna say, didn't he get the Iron Man award where he played the most games, had the most starts in NFL history, or something along those lines?
Yes, he had the most consecutive starts by a quarterback until he went to Minnesota, and I think he missed some games. Or was he got hurt in Green Bay, and then that's when he got traded over to, or he took a job over. I don't think he got traded. I think he just was going to retire, and then he signed with Minnesota. Right?
Yeah. Yep. He ended his career with Minnesota.
Yes.
Or did he play for the Jets for a little while? I think he went from Green Bay to the Jets and then back to Minnesota, I think. He was with the Jets for a hot minute. He played for the
Jets for like 2 seasons, or maybe 1 season.
Yeah.
I think what happened is that his hype finally caught up with him, and everybody started looking at his stats and his performance rather than the hype around it being him. And then it's like, yeah, we're going to spend our money elsewhere.
And by the way, Coach Kruger, I'm not really sure about that. You got to show me something that says that Brett Favre held every QB passing record until recently. Because I know for a fact Peyton Manning holds a lot. I also know, I think before or just recently, Aaron Rodgers passed Peyton Manning on all-time yardage throws, something like that. If he threw more pick sixes than any quarterback in history, if you count that, I'll agree with you. And thank you, by the way, Trump Thumper 88
So I think what Coach Kruger is saying is at the time that Brett Favre retired in 2010, I think.
Well, he's saying recently. He said until recently.
Yeah, until recently. So I think in 2015 and 2020 and 2022, some of those records got broke.
So so did he hold all the records before he held a lot of records before he retired?
He did. Hold on, I'm looking at it right now.
I can imagine that he held a lot of them, but all of them, all's a pretty strong statement.
I didn't think he had that many, except for like the starting record, and I think he had more yardage. He had 2 that I know of. He had the most yardage thrown.
Had the passing. Yeah.
Right, and then he had the longevity for how many games started. Those are the only 2 I knew he had.
Maybe didn't hold all of them.
That's why I'm
Hold on,
saying
let me think.
his sports superpower was marketability.
Well,
Everybody will construe things in their heads and pass around the information like it's
Wait,
real, but
nope,
none of it
nope.
really is.
He had yardage. He had touchdowns at one point.
but at the point of his
And
retirement, I mean, I know he had it at one point, but up into 2015, who had the records?
yardage, touchdowns. He had passing completions at one point. He was the leader there. So yeah, he made completions, yards, touchdowns.
That's about all of them for a quarterback, isn't it?
That's all the big ones. Touchdowns, yeah. So he.
You know what, Coach? You're right. I love to have to have a little bit more insight than which I had knowledge that I had. I didn't think he was all that great with ones, and I'm a big fan of not necessarily giving you a Hall of Fame bid by winning a Super Bowl, because sometimes I don't think a one season can make or should break you really, but I don't think making it to a Super Bowl and winning a Super Bowl is the final end all and begin all of your qualifications to make the Hall of Fame. But having said that, with some of the things that Marcus is reading off, sounds like Brett Favre belongs in the Hall of Fame. And he did have a lot of durability. Yep. Go ahead.
I was going to be funny. I said, but if we all want to get together, we can go get that jacket from him.
Go get that gold jacket, man.
No.
He might have to
get that jacket.
He's no longer in the league anymore, right?
Yeah, he's retired.
Yeah.
Then retired.
Okay. What records does he still hold?
0.
Well, then
0.
he's a nothing burger.
Well, we're talking about at the time. So the qualifications, and I had made the statement that I thought his stats were kind of mediocre at best, but only won one Super Bowl. But then I also was making the argument that he was a terrible guy off the field all the time. And if you guys don't know, there is a video. I think it's still posted. Maybe it's only on Facebook, but I may have moved that one over here to our Drinks and Discussions.
You talking about
YouTube.
the one where he's just being a complete douche?
But I had a podcast with Brett Favre's ex-teammate, his backup quarterback. He's a good friend of mine. He lives here in my area. We have golfed, and we go to the same golf course. And Craig Nall. If you don't know Craig Nall, look up Craig Nall. He played with Brett Favre. He was there when Aaron Rodgers was drafted. And I kind of wanted to give him an opportunity tonight, but I ran out of time and got some busy doing other things. I didn't have the chance to reach out to him. But I am going to have him on this stream. He's already volunteered or said that he will actually do it. So there is going to be a live NFL quarterback on Drinks and Discussion Sports to talk about not necessarily this particular aspect of Brett Favre's life, but maybe some behind the scenes when they played in Green Bay together. So here's my question. With all of this, does it tarnish your kind of your view of Brett Favre? I know Coach Kruger, you're out there and you're talking about some of the things that he had done, and he was had the most wins until Brady passed him about 2 seasons ago. Does this tarnish your view of what Brett Favre is and what kind of a person he is? Or are you just saying, hey, he was a good football player and that's all I care about? That's what I would like to know from, you guys too, Marcus and the cameraman and Jake. Why don't you, Jake, you've been quiet, so go ahead. You get started.
Well, the way you play sports, I mean, your life is different from when you're on the field and when you're off the field. I mean, just because you're a good football player doesn't necessarily mean you're a good guy. I mean, we're hearing about him doing all this stuff, like sending pictures and, using money like that the way he is. I mean, yeah, he's probably a good player, but still he's doing some shady stuff. So that should that kind of makes me look at him differently for sure. At least it does for me. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but
Now, like
Yeah,
oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead, cameraman.
No, I was gonna say, like, for me, my entertainers, sports professionals, everything else, whatever you do behind the scenes, that's between you, your family and the law. Between you and me, that's what you're presenting as entertainment. That's pretty much all I focus on. Can the dude be a completely evil prick on the side? Yeah, and eventually, if he crosses the line and violates the law, it'll catch up with him.
Especially if it goes public. I mean,
But otherwise, if I know him only as a sports entertainer, that's the only metric I'm going to measure him on.
right.
I'm going to say
It's like
go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead.
Oh, I'll say it's like I think Dakota, Rain, Prescott, and Timothy Tebow. I think they're great dudes, but horrible quarterbacks.
Oh, see, here you go. You always got to put in something about my Dakota Rain Prescott using his government name. I can't believe you said that. And we're going to get into this cowboy argument here in a little bit, because I ain't going to let you rain on my Cowboys win either, man. I'm going to let you do it, Marcus. I want to hear it.
Wait, the Cowboys won one?
Yes, they won two, so don't start.
They won two. I know.
And Marcus
We got our
is
first win against the Jets on Sunday.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. I like what the cameraman said. I normally don't care what people do off the field, if they're a movie star or they're this or that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's something so egregious that it just affects me and the way I think that I just want to have my heroes be. I'm not saying that Brett Favre was a hero, but I like sports. I like football.
Right.
And he was, and there was a comment, I think, by Thumper saying that he was even in the movie There's Something About Mary. He had a little small part. He did just seem like he was this all-around American guy. He had that persona about himself. And then when you see somebody who you have up here, whether it be my own fault or whatever, and then they come and have these transgressions, and he knew, first of all, he knew this was illegal. Their text messages implicating him in this crazy, crazy scheme to embezzle all this money. It's crazy that they knew about this stuff. And so when it comes to that level of just dishonesty, and then the people that affected were poor people living in the poorest state. Mississippi is the poorest state in our country. And he decided to take money away from them. And I know what people are saying, PPP loan. I also think there was some kind of like money that was supposed to go to the government for like welfare and things of that nature, that this money was supposed to be used for, that he took. I'm not sure if it was just PPP loan stuff. Even though he did get a PPP loan, I think this money he took from money that was supposed to be given out to other people, the minorities.
I'm a little confused on how he got access to that money in the first place, but
the mayor.
I mean, I don't know.
The mayor helped him. He was good friends with the mayor, and they came up with this scheme to do this stuff. And there was one thing that they were actually showing in the text messages. He wanted to use prison laborers to help. I don't think it was build the stadium, but to build lockers for the stadium. That's how cheap and how underhanded this thing
cheap
was.
Labor, however you can get it.
That's slave labor, if you ask me, because they ain't getting money. If you're being forced to do work
you're
and not getting paid
to
for
the
it.
truth than you know on that one, but that's
absolutely.
a different discussion.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. This is the level of deceit and dishonesty that I just don't even think, even if I didn't care about the guy, I could just overlook.
Yeah, I'm wondering now. Is that? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. As I think, this happening in the state of Mississippi, and you've got Deion Sanders down there at Jackson State, really kind of turning things around. I wonder if he's got something to say about it, or if he will at some point. But that's interesting.
And I'll be honest with you. And by the way, Coach Kruger, I'm backtracking what I said. I just thought, without any information given to me, that Brett Favre winning one Super Bowl was just kind of like that. He had one good season and he had this longevity, and he was kind of like, I always used to call Tony Romo like the up and coming Brett Favre, because there were some passes he would throw that were not conventional.
That's
over
my quarterback.
Yeah, that's my quarterback. And so I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, and I'm also saying that people can't be judged. They should be judged only on their on-field and not their off-the-field qualifications. And I think that's the bulk of what they do. But the Hall of Fame can delay elections based upon someone's off-the-field behavior. So there are people, they're human beings just like us, who vote for these Hall of Famers. And some people take these off-the-field transgressions into account. Some of them don't. And it seems as if some people put that off-the-field scrutiny to the Lawrence Taylors and to the Michael Irvins and to the Terrell Owens, and may delay their first ballot Hall of Famers bids. Not saying that they were not first ballot Hall of Famers or not, but I'm just saying that's stigma that's being applied here when it comes to what who they choose to bring up their off the field stuff and who they choose not to bring it up when they're talking about their Hall of Fame credentials.
Now that we're talking about the Hall of Fame, I got a question for you guys. So what do you think the most important stat or metric is for a player when getting considered for the Hall of Fame?
Good question.
Say that again?
What stat or metric is the most important when getting considered for the Hall of Fame?
Depends on the position.
Yeah.
Nope. Everybody is measured by that one same metric first. And it's how much money did you make your league?
No, that's not true. That's not true.
I don't know. Look at how many people are in the Hall of Fame, and then look for their era, how much money they made the league,
because
and you'll start to notice a trend.
No, let me tell you why. This past year's Hall of Fame inductees, I didn't know who most of the guys that were inducted, and I think Warren Sapp actually, or who was it? It was somebody else who came out and said some of these guys don't need to be next to me. Oh, I think Deion Sanders said this. He said these guys that I'm seeing getting put into the Hall of Fame don't need to have their bust next to my bust because they ain't not on the same level as the Hall of Fame guys that I know.
And who was saying this?
Deion Sanders, prime time.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Come on, man, stop.
I know. I'm playing. He's one of my favorite players, to be honest.
I know,
but he hadn't done anything in forever, though.
So that's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where I think it's all about the position and the contributions you make on the field to either elevate your position based upon people that play before you and the accomplishments you create in those positions. So if you're a receiver, how many receiving yards, how many receiving touchdowns? If you're a quarterback, how many touchdowns you throw, how many yards did you throw over your career? The ratio between, what's your QBR, what's your ratio between touchdowns and interceptions? All those types of things all come into play. And it's not just because you're my homer on my homer team and I like you, because I think if you're voting for that, that's not going to get you anywhere at all. And I don't know all the qualifications when people vote, but I know it's the Associated Press that votes for Hall of Famers, and they cover them constantly. So those people who have votes for the Hall of Fame are the writers that actually cover the sports in which they're voting on. The conversation says Brett Favre was not an elite quarterback. He was too sloppy and reckless. Coach Kruger is Coach Kruger, are you from Wisconsin? I know it seems like you are a big Favre fan.
But I know we've touched on it in one of the comments in there in the chat, talking about the picks that he sent. So maybe I'm in the minority, but what's wrong with sending a pick? I say that jokingly, but it's how and who he sent it to. I get the circumstances around that. Mm-hmm. But just the pick itself. I mean, sending it, yes, in considering that he was married and.
I think that's the key right
that's
there,
the key.
though, is that he's married. But otherwise, we wouldn't even be talking about it. It's just a dude that sent a dick pic.
Right.
But even still, those that like to pass judgment on that thing are some of the same ones that are doing that stuff.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this question. If you meet some girl, say you go out and you say, hey, I just met this one girl. She was really nice. She gave me her number. I'm going to call her. And you start texting her and she didn't really return you back, or she was giving you these one sentence and one word answers or replies. Would you feel as if then is the appropriate time to send a dick pic?
There's never an appropriate time.
Okay, so that's what Brett
Chris.
Favre did in this instance. She was not really kind of like showing him any interest, and so he thought he could up the ante with some interest by
Right.
showing him her dick pic and saying, "Hey, this is Brett Favre's dick. Come on, see me." And it didn't work out too well
for him, did it?
Nope, did not.
Right.
That's why there is
No,
never an appropriate time for that. If you're going to do something like that, you do it in person, because if you can get them that close to it in person, you've got a chance. But if you're just sending out random, dick pics,
Oh, okay. Random, yes, that's different. I
well,
was
if they're
saying
not
there is an appropriate
reciprocating,
time.
if they're not reciprocating and you're using it as a Hail Mary, it's random.
Yeah, no, I'm not agreeing. I mean, with him and the situation that he was in and sending those pics, I don't agree with that. I'm speaking generally that if people that are voting for him or looking at him or passing judgment on him for doing that,
Right.
I feel like some of those same people are guilty
Oh,
of doing that themselves.
Right.
And that's all.
But they're not the ones being voted for.
True.
Right, and they're
It's a different level of scrutiny.
Yeah,
Oh,
and a lot
sorry,
of these
didn't mean to step on top.
Well, a lot of these writers, you
Yeah,
don't
no,
even
you-
know who they are. A lot of these writers, you don't even know who they are. You don't know who their faces are. Who they could be sending dick pics all there, and we would never know because we don't know who they really are. And a lot of them use a moniker that's not really their real name.
Yeah.
So, I kind of want to move on because I know this is sports, and I gotta get on our Cowboys and some of the games that we're gonna be watching upcoming, and also some of the games that passed, especially the Monday night's game. But I want to compare this story, and the reason I'm bringing this up first and not second is because the story that's next on our topics is getting considerable amount of traction compared to this story, and I don't know why, but. Is it Ima?
I think I've heard it. Ime
Udoka.
Yeah.
Head coach of the Boston Celtics, NBA. Took the Celtics to the NBA Finals last year. Have a great team. And that was his first season as a head coach with the Celtics. Had a consensual relationship with someone else in the Boston Celtics organization that was against policy. They suspend him for the entire year. And you have not stopped hearing about this story yet. And yet people still aren't continually talking about the Brett Favre story. Why?
So I'm wondering if, because I guess the things that I'm hearing, and it's not so much, we continue to hear about it, but it seems as though to me that we're only hearing about, okay, now what did the Celtics go? What are they going to do? Are they going to suspend him? And I think that's part of it because they haven't decided on what they're going to do or how they're going to do it, how long it's going to happen. I think. That's probably what it is, but it's just what are they going to do?
Right. Well, so I've read something, and I don't know if this is factual because you never know some of the sources until I hear more and more about it. So I heard, Ime is a black African American coach. The person that he was dealing with and having this consensual relationship was the wife of another high-end executive in the Boston Celtics organization.
Oh, he
stepped
in it.
And this guy is Caucasian, and this woman is also white. And so that's why I'm saying what I'm saying is because you've got this black man who ended up having sex with another executive in the running of the organization. You don't know whose ear he is. Is he close with the owner or what? He finds out about it and says, man, this is not right. This guy did this to my family and all this kind of stuff. And I think that they're putting the coach in a very precarious situation. And here's why I'm saying that. Two grown-ups having sex, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. And he is married. The head coach is married to actually one of my all favorite actresses. I mean, she does lots of good roles, memorable roles. She was in the movie Friday. Nia Long. She's been in acting
Yeah.
for a long time.
Are they
Love that
married
movie.
though, or?
They're married. They are married, and I believe they have a child, if not more children, together.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
so,
but you
it,
don't shit where you sleep, and this
so that's
guy
not
totally kept it inside his own organization.
that's dumb. But here's my point here: is it a year's worth suspension? I am assuming he's not getting paid for the year worth of transgression. Listen. You can break a company policy and you can get written up. You can get you can break a company policy and get a 30-day suspension. You can get fined. People have done that. You get people get arrested and they get a fine from the organization. They say, "Hey, you got a DWI. There's what you're going to get. Here's the punishment you're going to have." This smells as if the Celtics are standing behind their executive over this and
Oh, they definitely are.
throwing their head coach out to dry. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, they're parking him out to dry right now so that he can
Mhm.
shrivel up and become a nothing, and then they're going to boot him out. They are going to do everything they can within their power to destroy this man.
No, so here's what I'm thinking. Behind the scenes, again, this is my conspiracy theory. I know most of you guys don't think I would ever subscribe to some conspiracy theories, but I do sometimes. Here's what I'm thinking. The Celtics are saying, "Hey, we had to get in front of this before somebody wanted to go out to the press, which means the husband and or the wife. I don't know." And so they said, "Hey, let us start the workings of some type of payout to get rid of this guy in our organization so our executive doesn't have to see the guy who's been, banging his wife behind his back." And then when that payout is negotiated, you will see Ime going on, and then he'll start talking in the public about the whatever has transpired, and then he'll be able to coach somewhere else, because I know a lot of people want to see him coach somewhere because he did a good job in Boston.
I think he'll coach somewhere else probably, but as far as talking about the situation, I think an NDA will stymie all that.
And I worry if he will coach somewhere else.
Why do you think that? Why do you think
Yeah.
that he would not coach somewhere else?
Well, and not saying that I agree that he shouldn't. I mean, I think that he should, but I'm thinking just the way that the league works, and
Exactly. How far down are they going to bury this guy? How destroyed and broken is he going to be by the time this process is done?
He'll probably hold it over his head till the end of his career.
there'll
Well,
probably be all kinds of handshake deals under the table with other owners. Hey, don't hire this guy.
they'll blackball him. Absolutely, they'll blackball him for sure. But here's my question, and I don't know if anybody else is really kind of like, I try to come in and investigate a lot of some of the things that we try to go over before we come out here. But I also saw something on one of the stories that I heard. And yes, Coach Kruger, you're right. The Celtics handle this horribly. I believe you 100%. I agree with you on that, because not all the facts are actually coming out, and they didn't really offer a whole lot of facts, even in their press conference. But here's what I think. I think that the not only the Boston Celtics handle this horribly, but I also heard that there were other people who had known that Ime was kind of like a multi multi fornicator. I think an adulterer, actually. He was known to have been a guy who just really didn't keep it in his pants very often, and they didn't care who it was that he was messing around with. So I heard and it was an ex NBA player who actually had said that. And he said a lot of people had known that he was a criminal cheater, and it was just one of those things that nobody really said anything about it because they just knew it was happening. You don't want to be
Well,
Kobe.
they couldn't, because I mean that runs rampant in the league. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
I was going to
right.
say same
And it
thing.
wasn't affecting them, so they knew,
Yeah.
but they wasn't going to stick their neck out to, for the information.
So the thing
Right.
that's that you don't. Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, was the only person I knew that broke that code and ratting on somebody for paying off people or whatever when he came out and said that stuff about Shaq. And he got away with it because he
Wait,
was just a
what
good
did he
good
say
player.
about Shaq? Did Shaq get forced out of the league?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I was gonna say.
Kobe Bryant got busted cheating, and it was a big deal. And when he made a comment, he said, "I should have just paid her off like Shaq does, or something like that."
Oh, throwing him under the bus. Okay, okay, yeah, I see.
Mhm.
Yeah, but Shaq's got it made, man. Shaq's a smart businessman. That dude owns like over 50 different brands.
He does. Yeah, very charitable
He
as well.
is like, anytime you spend money, he is banking.
Yeah, and the conversation guy is saying in the chat that it's not like he was paying off a porn star here in this whole thing either. So it just seems a little odd that they would suspend somebody for consensual sexual for a year.
I don't find it odd at all. It's because of who he did it to, not what he did, but who he did it to.
And so my question is a year-long suspension, is that the policy for anybody in the organization at his level, or is this are they lengthening that suspension because of who he is and who he did it to?
Well, we can answer this easily, though.
I don't know.
If they're making exception, then I have a problem with it. But if that is the standard policy, then
think about it, though. Do you think if it had been their head player on the team banging this executive's wife, if he would have sat on the bench for a year? I don't think he would.
Well, hold on a second, though. Put this in perspective. Boston Celtics has not made the finals in a long time, regardless of the talent that they put on the court. This guy, their head coach, comes in here and they ball out and make it to the NBA finals. So if your organization is into making money and you've been kind of like mediocre at best, Boston Celtics, and then all of a sudden you pay this guy to come in, and I don't know what his salary is, but I wouldn't imagine him coming in and having a huge salary for a guy who really hadn't had a whole lot of head coaching experience.
Right. He's making himself. He ain't broke out yet.
Right. So I think if you're using that analogy, you got to put him in the same light you would put in as a star player, and which I think that's why they didn't just say, "Hey, I'm firing this guy." Let them start losing, and more information comes out that this was just some kind of a misunderstanding. They reinstate him at the end before the end of the season, and then all is forgiven.
And meanwhile, he's probably, coaching through a headset, watching what's going on anyway, right? I mean, he's already paid. You're gonna get work out of him, right?
Okay, so hold on a second. I'm watching Coach Kruger saying he said it wasn't cheating; it was an alleged rape. I didn't hear that. I have not heard.
I'd have to see sourcing on it.
Yeah, I have to see where you've got that. They were alleging that there was rape. But you got to be a dummy. If I find out that it came out to be a story of this guy raped an executive's wife, that's going to be totally different. I mean, that's
no.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah, think about this logically.
Yeah.
So
they would
one
not
of your
suspend them.
employees rapes your wife. No. This doesn't go into the news. This doesn't go to the police. This dude just disappears. I'm sorry.
Right.
Well, but here's the deal.
His career would have been over. He would have been like completely probably let go from his coaching.
See, that's the thing. I think if it was a rape or even a presumed or alleged rape, I think that it would be something that they would have already had the authorities in, and they would say, "Hey, we're investigating an incident." But they are the ones who came out and said that it was engaging in a
but you know
consensual
what? That would
relationship.
explain the year-long suspension while they investigate the allegation and they don't hard move on anything.
Well, no one's ever said that. No one's ever has said that they're still investigating anything. No one has come out, even in the press conference. Oh, yes, they would.
They wouldn't.
Oh, absolutely.
If it's an ongoing investigation, the only reputable source would be the investigators, and they're not going to say anything while investigation's going on unless they're pressed for it.
Well, here's the deal. In sports, if there's something like involving a rape, a player's beating up a girlfriend in the elevator, if there's no video proof, they will still tell you this is alleged act has taken place. Our organization knows about it, and we are putting him on the sidelines or benching him, suspending him while we continue to investigations. And the more information that comes out, we'll let you guys know. But until then, this is our action. They are not saying that within this organization. The Celtics are not saying there's an alleged crime being committed here. They're saying this is something that we know that was a consensual relationship. And I saw that the husband found out about it because they saw him on the Ring doorbell going into his house.
Oh man, you got to fear the Ring doorbell. If you see one, then you got to know you got to change your behavior instantly.
That's right. Say
All I'm saying is that no matter how much money this coach makes, the CEOs or whoever, this executive, his wife's cookies weren't in the contract.
Cookies are cookies. I ain't heard that one in a long time.
Just saying.
Yeah,
no matter how much money you make my organization, I'm sorry, bro. My wife's cookies aren't for sale.
And you know
Don't
what?
even try to buy.
I was gonna go back on that one too and just go, hey, you gotta be kind of stupid to go that far up the chain to get your rocks off, because nobody in my circle of friends is that stupid. No one's that dumb that I couldn't put that on any of my friends. And that's how stupid that was. And I saw, if it's the person, not saying that she wasn't an attractive woman, but compared to Nia Long, come on, man. But I do know guys.
So,
yeah, you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Go ahead, Marcus.
So, to piggyback on your point, Brian, about being stupid. So, what about the idea that the missus initiated all of this?
Right.
It wouldn't matter. He reciprocated with a married woman.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. But what I'm saying is, he may not have otherwise tried to bark up that tree had she not reached out to him. Dun dun dun.
That's why you don't smash and dash. That's why you relationship. Otherwise, he'd have known those things.
It's
before he committed to the act.
And it's funny to me because I'm kind of like Stephen A. Smith had mentioned this on his First Take segment. If it's a consensual relationship, why are we not coming forth with who the female party is involved in this whole thing? Because why are you trying to, tarnish this man for making, and even if it's in the case of Marcus just saying, and she initiated it, why is it that we're not bringing her into the spotlight? The organization in which she works for is in the spotlight. The head coach is in the spotlight. Why are we not bringing her into the spotlight as well?
Because that's up to the journalist 100%. To do. It wouldn't be hard to figure out who she is.
Unless what the Coach Kruger is saying, if it's an alleged rape, which I've never heard that. I'm not implying that here. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'd have to see sourcing on it. I'm not going to negate it, but I'm not gonna fancy it either.
Yeah, I'm not
I'd
really
have to see the
sure
sourcing
about that. I asked Coach if he can give us where he found that information. I'll be happy to look at it, but I haven't been able to find any reputable organization saying anything like that. But if that's the case, I will tell you this. If that is the case, I understand why they would not bring her out into the forefront if she's a victim of a rape. So,
allegedly,
I'm not even saying it's alleged. I'm just saying we heard it for the first time in someone on our chat. So
that's what it would be until a conviction. It's always an allegation until the conviction.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's an accusation. It's not even. Is that what you said?
Same difference, different word.
Yeah, I just saying. I got a text message, so I stopped listening for a little bit. Sorry. got distracted in the middle of your comments there. But anyway, but so why are people even spending more time on this though than the Brett Favre thing? I'm not interested. See, this is one of those things where if you're a coach and you have sex with somebody other than your wife, that's none of my business. I don't care. I'm not gonna look at you any different. I know people who do it. It's frowned upon. It's not, your moral character is fucked up. But at the end of the day, that's between you and your wife, homie. And I don't want to be in your shoes, man, because that's not going to be that's not a good place to be. I guarantee you that's not going to be a good place for him.
This is just my take on it. The reason people are still got their laser focus on this head coach guy is I'll just go out and say it. It's probably it's a racial thing because it's just my opinion. Probably the coach. I've never seen him. He is an African American, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And the woman he had sex with was white.
Married
Correct.
Caucasian woman, yes.
That's possibly why people are still laser focused on it because Brett Favre is just, you know.
Well, it goes back to what I said earlier.
It's just my
they can
that's just my take on
sensationalize
it.
Yeah.
They can
I
make
could be
media
wrong,
cycles
but
out of it. They can fill in segue segments with it and everything else. They can milk that until, they're blue in the face or something else comes along that's fresh.
Well,
right.
also remember,
Yeah, that's just my pull on that.
He's not even the most famous person in the conversation. Nia Long, his wife, is the most famous person. She's probably the breadwinner in that relationship.
You'll have to remind me which one she is again.
And interesting, Brian, because you just said Nia Long. You said her name. So you got Ime Udoka's name out there. You got Nia Long's name out there, but you don't have
the accusers,
the wife, the other lady's name out
yeah.
I think
that's a good point.
I think Nia
Very
Long.
good point.
You said she was in Friday, Brian. I think she played either.
She played the love interest of Craig. She played
Debbie.
Oh, okay, so it was who I was thinking of.
Mhm.
Okay,
I see her every night in my
clarification for my mental image.
Love that movie, man.
Marcus is like, I want to see her on my Ring doorbell.
Chris Tucker.
Yes.
That guy's a trip, man.
I won't even let her in. I'm gonna just stare at her through the Ring doorbell.
Standing on my Ring doorbell.
Stop it. Stop. Marcus faking the funk, too. I ain't gonna let her in. Boy, you'd be running through that thing. You'd be like, you don't need no dick pics, baby. Come on in this house. Come on in.
Yeah, but in that case, are you letting in prey or a predator? Because she may look good, but I guarantee she's got more power than you. And I'm not talking about strength or anything. I'm talking about capability.
Bring it. She
that
can humble me.
Money and connections and a vagina. She can get shit done.
Marcus is looking for some revenge sex. He wants her to come on over so she can get some revenge sex.
No.
Knock it out, player. Knock it out.
She's on my list. She's on my wish list, no doubt.
Yeah, I think and to Jake, what you're saying too, I don't necessarily see it as necessarily as it's black versus white, and you always want to thrust the black people into the controversy. I think because of Nia Long being a part of this, and the Celtics and the NBA season is just now getting ready to get started. I think that has a lot to do with it. I still am confused. I hope we get to hear more information coming out regarding this, because there's just too much information or lack of information that people are just running and drawing conclusions on what may have happened. And
yeah, don't get me wrong. I hope that that's not the case. That was just my That's just my pull on that. I don't want it to be that case.
Right.
Well, like you said, it might be because of her celebrity status and the basketball team and
right.
It could be that too.
Does she have any connection to the Celtics aside from the coach? Does she have any financial interest?
Nope, not that I'm aware. Because that would be a double whammy, because then she'd be the one voting for the suspension. She's like, yep, I'm a shareholder, so we got to vote on what needs to be done here.
And then it begs the question, well, which way did you vote? Like, I'm not entitled to know, but inquiring minds would really like to know.
Nothing like a woman scorned, they say. Nothing like a woman scorned.
Yeah, but woman scorned and woman's pocketbook, they know where to draw the line. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Like, I'm scorned already. I'm already burned. Am I going to cut my nose off to spite my face too?
Yeah.
Right.
Keep those pockets fat. Keep that purse coming. Yeah. So anyway, I thought those two subjects were more important to, not more important, but I thought that was just a difference from us talking about, some of the political stuff that we talked about last week. A change of pace, and then also wanted to bring people in over to introduce them to the Drinks and Discussions sports channel, because we will be doing a lot more lives over here as the football season continues, and we'll just be posting more videos on the other channel, but not going live. This is, I think, will be more live shows here than we are doing over there, just because we're sports guys, and Marcus and I and Jake, outside of the cameraman, I know he is not a big sports guy, but we are really into our sports teams, which, by the way,
but you're holding your own pretty good, cameraman. You're talking about sports here.
That's exactly right. There is. But that's a good segue into our next segment. And all I got to say, how about them Cowboys? Cowboys win, everybody. Cowboys win. And let me just say this. And I want to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals first, and then we'll get into the Cowboys. But Stephen A. Smith, you can suck it, because he's the one I put the video on this sports channel. The season is over. Remember that first game of the season we lost? Dak got injured. Season is over. All right. You heard it there.
Oh, wow. Did somebody get taken out like game 1?
Yeah, he just broke. I think he had a fracture in his thumb. It wasn't a bad injury, but he'll be back in the next few days. Few weeks. So, but before we go in there, go ahead, Big Jake. Talk about your Cincinnati Bengals win 27-12 over the lowly Jets, by the way. Just saying, it's the Jets. Just saying. But you did get the win.
Compared to the game before last, our offensive line really stepped up this time, man. They were same with the defensive line. I mean, the game against who did we play before? It was the Steelers. It was the Cowboys. Yeah. I just don't know, man. Like, our offensive line was just not having it those two games. And, Joe Burrow got sacked, at least 3 to 4 times in the first half, and, 2 or 3 more times in the next half. It's like, come on, man, throw him a bone, put up a wall or something. And then I see how we're playing up against the Jets. It's like, wow, this is huge. This is like night and day compared to what they did 2 weeks prior.
Well, your Joe Burrow played better.
He did. He threw some really good passes in that game. If anybody watched it.
Yeah, he played better.
There was a lot of injuries that game too, both sides.
Right.
From New York and Cincinnati. Hell, I think Joe Mixon had a concussion first week, and I guess he got hit in the head again when he played the Jets. So I guess when he got hit, it kind of rattled him a little bit. But I think he was back on later in the game.
Yeah, he got better, and then, but the problem is that I'm having with your Cincinnati Bengals, and I get it. The Rams aren't playing that well either. After you go to the Super Bowl, it becomes kind of like it's hard to repeat. That's number one, unless you're the Patriots. And then it's also people have a lot of tape on you differently against the Super Bowl teams for whatever reason. But the teams that go to the Super Bowl always seem to kind of come out flat the following season. I don't know if there's a saying or term for it, but they do.
I think the Super Bowl hangover.
I think Super Bowl hangover. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that when all?
Go ahead, Cameron.
I was just gonna make a joke. Is that when all the cocaine runs out?
I was gonna say that because I guess we were so close. That last pass that we threw in the Super Bowl last year, just if he wouldn't have dropped it, we could have had that game. But I think just because we were so close and we lost the Super Bowl, maybe their morale or maybe their confidence went down a little bit. Maybe they're not as confident this year. But
there really is something to that. Oh, go ahead, cameraman.
I was gonna say my personal team that I follow for football is the Detroit Lions, and I've never had to watch them lose a Super Bowl. I think I've said this before. Because they've never been.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yep.
little did I think that I would ever see the Cincinnati Bengals go to a Super Bowl in my lifetime because,
Yeah, but they've been there before.
well,
I've
the
seen
thing
them
is,
go twice.
Right.
well, the thing is,
Mhm.
when they went, I was just a kid. I was just a little kid. I didn't know anything about football. I never watched it. So I
And
guess
then
I
the
could
first
technically
time you
say,
probably weren't even born. I think I was like
right,
10 years old.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, yeah, I could say they went once during my lifetime, but I didn't see them play. And I think that was still during the Anthony Munoz days before he retired,
You don't
which I
you
Mm.
think
don't
1990 or
you
91.
don't recall you don't remember Icky Woods
Icky
and the
Woods.
Icky Shuffle?
Yeah, the Icky Shuffle. Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a Geico commercial where Icky Woods, I think it was running a lot last year when they went to the Super Bowl, that he's in there they call his number for cold cuts at the deli. And he does the Icky Shuffle. I got cold cuts. I got cold cuts. I got cold cuts. It's time to get cold cuts. And then he slams the meat down on the ground like he does when he would did
No, I
Icky
didn't
Shuffle.
see that.
You gotta look up the Geico commercial with Icky Woods, man. It's hilarious.
I'm guessing he played for Cincinnati at one point. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You look up some of his videos.
he was a beast of a running back, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
see,
he
when
was.
I was starting to really get into football, we had people like Carson Palmer and Chad Johnson and TJ Hushmanzada and guys like those that
Oh, I
used to play
forgot
with us.
about TJ. I forgot about him.
Okay.
Yeah, those guys were
Did you?
playing when I really started getting into it, and then we started getting people like who was our quarterback before or after Carson Palmer? What was his name? Andy
Oh,
Dalton.
Andy Dalton.
Andy
Yep.
Dalton. That's right. Andy
And then
Dalton.
we had guys like Uzama, who now plays for the Jets. Actually, he's our former. I think he was a running
Tight
back as
end.
well. But yeah, when I started getting into it, those guys were playing for the Bengals.
Mm. Well, you got to win.
So
You got to win against the lowly Jets. You guys are now both 1-2.
I know we're on the board at least, so at least we can say we're on the board.
Have the
So
Lions
that
even
them,
played this season yet?
Yes, everybody's playing this season. Everybody plays every week. Every
No,
night.
played yet. Nobody does all their games at the same time.
Well, they usually play Monday, or excuse me, let me say starting Thursday, you get a game, and then Sunday and Monday, you get a game. So in between those days for the week, everybody plays. So on Tuesday, like when we're doing this, everybody's already played for that previous week.
Okay.
And your Lions, let me pull it up. I don't remember because nobody watches the Lions play.
Nobody watches the Lions, bro. Nobody
wait,
does.
the Lions are 1-2 right now.
What they're 1-2, along with the lowly Cincinnati Bengals. Just saying, there,
So
Jake.
they've got a 33% win rate. They've got one out of their 7 games that they're going to win this year.
And I'm not even,
they let one get away from them this weekend. They had Minnesota down, and they let that one get away. They should be 2-1 right now.
Oh, 24-28. Ouch.
Yes.
If our offensive line just stays tight and not let Joe get sacked 5 or 6 times or 7 times in one game, I think we'll be okay.
Wait. They won against the Commanders. Who are I've never heard of this team. Who are the Commanders, and why are they playing against my know-nothing Lions?
Commanders are the Washington Redskins. They changed their name to the Commanders,
No, they did not.
which everybody hates.
Yes,
Nobody really
they did.
liked the Redskins
wait.
anymore. The Redskins name needs to be changed, but the Commanders is a worse name.
Oh, they really did that?
How did we do those other two segments and we didn't hit the Washington Commanders first?
Well, the Washington Commanders name change was like 2 years coming. They announced it 2 years ago, and people have been hating it ever since. And so,
but now that that's the thing. Now that they changed it away from the Redskins, so there's no way they can go back.
Well,
No,
didn't
they
I
don't
hear?
wanna go
I don't
back.
know. I might be wrong. Correct me if I am. Wasn't it a Native American person or whoever that helped name that team? Am I right?
Yeah.
Or is it-
There was no controversy from the community as far as natives
I
that were
heard
offended
differently.
by that.
I heard differently. I think that there were actually people from other tribes and other native tribes that came out and said Redskins is a derogatory term.
Derogatory.
And it is.
That
It
was
is.
taught to them by
It
the
is.
people that say it was derogatory. They have no clue. If it never offended them before, they never knew it.
Well,
nothing
you don't
on
have to
that
be offended
one.
because sometimes you can be kind of not knowledgeable. And then there's sometimes where people just are quiet and didn't say anything until they had the right voices in order to make the case. Because if you are Indian and you live in this country, you're not necessarily looked upon as being actual citizens.
But
so
they're not Indians.
they didn't want to fight
they're
these
natives.
Native Americans, and I keep saying Indians as well. I meant Native Americans.
See, but that's how ingrained it is into our society.
That's exactly right. That's exactly my point.
It's one argument I
And
have
you-
with
it
people all
takes-
the time. Like they'll call them Indians, and I'm like, they're not Indians. They're not
Yeah,
from India.
India.
They're native to this country. They're called
Right.
Native Americans.
Right, and that's the point. When people start saying, "Hey, we've enough's enough," you can go forever, and somebody can go, "You know what? We're not fighting the NFL of all places and all entities." There has always been, for years, people who are always saying the tomahawk chop is derogatory. The Atlanta Braves are okay, but the Cleveland Indians changed their names to the Cleveland Guardians. So
they did not.
people
No,
are
they
starting
did.
to getting.
They did.
They're getting into this conscious
wait.
where. Hold on, let me finish my point.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
people are having this awakening, and I don't call it being woke, that they are finding their voices, and those voices are finally being heard to where they can create change. It's almost likened to the civil rights era, where people were being treated so badly until you had the Dr. King standing up and saying, "Hey, enough's enough. This is not going to be tolerated." There was a comment by a political figure, Dumb DeSantis, by saying that the Bill of Rights, nobody questioned slavery until the forefathers came up and said, "Here are the Bill of Rights, and all people were created equal." He actually said this, but
the 13th Amendment wasn't a part of the Bill of Rights.
But that's what I'm saying. How stupid it was, and then
Right.
not only that, and then it took us until 1950 something to pass the Civil Rights Act. So people can go and you can think, "Oh, life is fine," because nobody's really complaining about it until those people who come up with the voices that say this is no longer okay. That's not woke. That's just being smart and now having a voice that actually can speak and represent whatever the cause you may have in life. And now with social media and things that right at our fingertips, you can have a stronger voice and a louder voice just like that. That's my take. That's my take.
Right. The only reason I'm gonna go out on a limb for the Indians, the team on that one, is because I think they had a case to keep their name. I can understand why the Washington Redskins would have to change theirs, but you're calling yourself an Indian. Those aren't Indians. Those are natives.
Yeah,
The thing that we have as our mascot isn't even real.
Yeah, but it had a feather in the back of its head, like an Indian, like a Native American.
Are you saying that Indians in India can't dress like that?
But they don't. They can, but they don't. The depiction in itself was representative of a Native American. So
That's
you
why
can't
you
call
don't
yourself an
change-
Indian when
You
you're a
can call
Native
yourself
American.
an Indian. You just can't have that logo depiction.
Yeah, what do you want to have some flip flops out there? What do you want to do as your mascot? I don't know what.
I'm just saying. I think they had a case for keeping their name as the Indians.
And just changing the mascot.
Yes, Chief
I don't know.
Wampum
That's
would have to go. I'm sorry.
Making the case to keep the name and just changing their mascot would be a hard pressing issue for me, because what then would be your mascot?
Right,
And then
right,
why
right.
would you? And then
I'm not
what's an
saying it
Indian?
wouldn't
And
be a
then what's an
hard press-
Indian?
Right. But I'm not saying it wouldn't be a hard press issue. I'm just saying I think they had a case for keeping their name, unlike what the Redskins did.
Their mascot could be an elephant, like the Alabama Crimson Tide. What the hell is a Crimson Tide? They use an elephant as their mascot.
Exactly.
Right.
Well,
Are you saying that we
wait
can't
a
be
minute.
called Indians?
Wait a minute. I've heard some things called the Crimson Tide, but I don't think it's appropriate for guys to be talking about it.
Oh.
And actually, did you know that in the ocean, the Crimson Tide actually isn't like red; it's green. It's like an algae.
Yeah, it's an algae bloom.
Yep.
The reason they call it a crimson tide is because if you wade in it or go anywhere near it, you die.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Oh, okay.
So there's another thing I want to talk about too. Another game before we get over. I will tell you, this surprised me, and I said this, Marcus, when we were talking about our pregame show a couple of weeks back. The Miami Dolphins went into the preseason undefeated, I believe, or was that the Jets that were undefeated?
Ooh, I can't remember.
I thought it was the Miami Dolphins, and now they are 3-0. They and the Philadelphia Eagles, who I hate, by the way, are the undefeated teams at 3-0, and they beat the Buffalo Bills, who are probably the favorite to go out of the AFC to the Super Bowl because they ball out. Their quarterback, by far, to me, is Josh Allen. Sorry, Josh Allen is a beast of a quarterback. Threw for 400 yards. If you got a quarterback that passes for 400 yards, and it comes up with a loss, I'm in shock. They lost by 19-21.
Give me Josh Allen any day of the week. And I was saying that 3 seasons ago when they came to Dallas on Thanksgiving Day.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Josh Allen.
And it's funny, my friend has him in as his starting quarterback in the fantasy football, and he gets him a lot of points. But they lose to Miami. Miami is looking to be Tualuga, is actually looking like a quarterback that, even though he got rocked in that game, and I'm surprised that there are not a lot of people actually still talking about that. He got rocked, got up dizzy, and they allowed him still to come back into that game when it was clear that they had, and he was suffering from a concussion.
Did you hear what they tried to say it was? And I don't know. I mean, if it was a concussion or if it wasn't, but reports were saying that the reason that he, I guess, stumbled or fell down or whatever it was he did on the field was because of some severe back pain, lower back pain. That's what they're saying, but I don't know.
He did fall back. I saw the play that happened. He fell back and he fell backwards. His head hit the back of the turf, and it looked like he kind of didn't kind of brace for the fall, and it looked like it was a head injury to me. But I'm a casual observer, but I don't know. So let's get to the Cowboys. The Cowboys were cast out, ostracized, thrown away after the first season. Our first game of the season. No chance in hell. Even though we had injuries to our number 2 wide receiver, wasn't playing in the game. Our offensive lineman was hurt. And Dak was, coming back from injuries from last year a little bit. And so he was still, and also had some injuries in the offseason as well. So we come in here, Dak gets his hand snapped back or thumb injured, and he has to be sidelined for first they thought it was 68 weeks. Now they were saying it's going to be like 3 to 4 weeks. There's no way Cooper Rush, our backup, was going to come in and win any games for us. And we go 2-0. I'll be honest with you. I did not expect this, but I expected it.
I'm with you because what am I trying to say? Cooper Rush is so I give Dak a hard time, but I don't pretend to put Cooper Rush on the same level as Dak.
Mm-hmm.
But part of playing the quarterback position, sometimes you just have to be a little quarterback savvy. I mean, you just have to have a little intuition, some instinct, just to play the position. You got to be smart to play the position, and Cooper Rush is all of that.
Mm-hmm.
He's not your athletic type, but he's a savvy, smart guy that knows how to play quarterback. Does he have all the measurables as Dak or any other quarterback in the league? Probably not. But he knows how to play the position. So, and he's been in the system for how many years? 5-6 years now. So I'm like you. I'm not totally surprised.
And he also has been in the Cowboys organization for a while as well, so he understands the system. He is prepared, and that's what you want from your backups. You want them to be prepared. And I will tell you, with our offensive line, we just got Peter. Samuel, what's Peter's first name? I forgot what his name is, but he's a Hall of Famer.
Jason Peters.
Jason Peters is now on that offensive line, and he is actually making a big difference. And we just didn't have the protection in that. Even in that first game, Dak was getting hit almost on every throw. So there were some deficiencies, and you tell me that yes, you do need to have a quarterback that can at least keep you in the games until your healthy starters come back, whether it be receivers or anything. You just want to keep you in the hunt, so you don't fall off too far off the bandwagon. Cooper Rush is that. I think what we're seeing is just the coming of and forming of a really talented team. You put Dak back there. You got Joey Galloway back there. Not Joey Galloway. Joey Gallo back there.
Michael Gallup.
Michael Gallup. So thank you. And he's healthy. You're going to have a really good team. Zeke is running really, really well. He was averaging about 5-something yards per carry yesterday. And CeeDee Lamb, I'll be honest with you, CD. I'll have to apologize to you while I was watching the game, because when you dropped that ball that should have been a touchdown, I was like, take off 88, man. I was ready to cast some dispersions on you. I was going to call First Take and tell Michael Irvin when he got on the show to get that 88 and turn it in until somebody else can come in and get that number, because until he made that one-handed catch, I was like, okay. He can survive another day. But the realistic person, Brian, an observer of the Cowboys, was saying this: CeeDee Lamb, you drop a lot of balls, dude. You just do. I don't understand why. There were balls he got thrown to him. They were right in his hands too, on his chest, and he dropped those balls as well. Come on, Jake. I know. Did you see any of the game last night? Or you were working?
No, I didn't catch that game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. I was a little troubled by him dropping those couple passes. But I think those were the only two that he dropped the rest of the night. I think he caught eight or nine balls for 80, 90 yards. And I think he was targeted, 10, 11, 12, 11 or 12 times. So.
You talking about last night?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm bringing up the box scores.
He was targeted 11 or 12 times, and he had 8 or 9 catches for 90 some odd yards or 80 some odd yards.
Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah, so he kind of made up for it. But I do need him to. And I'm a Oklahoma fan, and I loved watching CD at OU. When Kyler Murray was his quarterback, and you had CeeDee Lamb on one side, and you had Marquise Brown on the other side, who's now with the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. As a freshman at OU, CD was, returning punts. He was making things happen early on, but I have been a little bit disappointed in him these last couple of years. Not that he's not for lack of effort or not for, showing things or giving, having splashes, but I felt like he should be a little further along than he is right now. Especially when you start thinking, especially when you start considering that he's come into the league at the same time as Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson,
right?
Who's the kid in Baltimore? Golly, I cannot remember his name. And there's some other guys out there too, but Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson are the two at the top of my mind right now. But so I was happy to see him step up like that. I need to see more of that though.
And Jefferson's out there, Who's he playing for now?
Minnesota.
Minnesota, that's right. And that dude looked really, really good game one. And I'm not sure if I saw game two. He didn't play as well. I think they had somebody locked him down on that. I think Tampa Bay had their receiver or cornerback lock him down, and he didn't really get any good catches. I'm not sure how he did this past week, but his first game was the first time I actually really saw him in action, and he's a big guy too, and he looks like he's going to be a really good, talented player. I don't see CeeDee Lamb being even to the caliber of that one game he made. I am hoping CeeDee Lamb can also be really fast, but CeeDee Lamb looks really, for an NFL player, thin. I think he needs to bulk up a little bit. He doesn't have the size as some of these other guys, and so maybe that's why he's so fast, because he's a little light in the weight for as a receiver. But here's another controversy that I would think would go around the Cowboys is, why is Tony Pollard not our starting running back? He carries the ball 13 for 105. Ezekiel carries it 15 to 70 for 73. Why is Tony Pollard? And he made some spectacular runs too, by the way. Zeke did too. Zeke actually, the touchdown that Zeke had, I actually thought he could easily have been stopped for a loss, because he had to bounce off 2 or 3 defenders and keep moving to the side to get that touchdown, which was very impressive. Because usually, as of late, he gets hit one time by one person, he kind of comes down, and he normally wasn't like that the first couple of years he was in the season, in his career. But Pollard, to me, just looks like a better running back. Why is he not the starter?
Yeah, Zeke's definitely lost a step, and I think we're seeing, because they're really starting to split up the carries. It's not an even split necessarily, but Tony Pollard is getting some more action, and he's gotten a lot more action already, I think, this year in 3 games. And I'm not going to say all of last year, but he's gotten a lot more action in these first 3 games than he did in the first 3 games of last year. And I think that trend's going to continue. The reason why Zeke is still starting, and it's only just just on paper, is because Jerry Jones is paying him a healthy
lot of
chunk of
money.
money, and
Yeah.
you know how prideful Jerry Jones is, and
Mm-hmm.
the same way that whenever Dak does come back, we're gonna have a quarterback controversy. Cooper Rush is gonna boot out Dak.
Stop it. They paying Dak too much money too. Ain't Dak ain't gonna be sitting on no bench to collect no money. Come on, man. Stop it. All right, so let's get into it real quick. Let's go into next week's game, because next week your Bengals have the undefeated Dolphins coming into the building, Big Jake. Who do you got?
For the Bengals.
It's a Thursday night game. Yes, Thursday night.
Thursday night football. We're going up against the Miami Dolphins. 8:15 p.m. Probably not going to catch all because I got to work the next day, but still, I'm going to try to watch some of it.
You know what? I'm going to cry foul on all these Dolphin fans out there. I was at a sports bar Sunday afternoon before, well, the Cowboys didn't play, but I was at a sports bar on Sunday afternoon, just watching the early afternoon game. And there were so many Miami Dolphin fans. And when I say so many, there's probably like 4 or 5. But I'm thinking to myself, I've never seen that many Dolphin fans anywhere. Like, where the hell are they coming from?
Yeah, where are they coming from? This is cowboy country.
The Dolphins, you said the Dolphins weren't even playing that day?
No, they were, but there was only like.
Oh, they were.
I never see one Dolphin fan, and there was like 4 or 5 of them.
Oh,
where'd y'all come from? But here they come. We got to hear all about it now. But go ahead, Jake. I interrupted you, Jake. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was just saying that I might catch a little bit of that game. So
yeah, it's a 8:15. No, yeah, 7:15 p.m. game. Thursday night. Game. Who are you picking? Are you going with your Bengals over the Dolphins?
The Dolphins, they're undefeated, aren't they?
The Dolphins are undefeated.
I don't know, man.
Someone's got to give them that first L.
That's a hard one. Yeah, I was about to say,
there you go.
Somebody's got to break that streak, so hopefully we'll be it.
All right.
I mean, that's That's a tough one since they're undefeated. But hey, I got high hopes. Like I said earlier, if our offensive line can just keep that momentum like they did with the Jets, we'll be fine. Same with our defensive line. If we can hold them back, we'll be good. Just don't play like you did with the Steelers and the Cowboys, because we just weren't having it in those two games.
So who do you picking, cameraman? I know you're probably not the biggest fan, but if you just throw out a pick if you like.
The only game I'm watching next, as far as what I saw lined up, is October 23rd.
Do you have a pick in this game? You want to make a pick?
Who's playing?
Dolphins and Bengals.
Dolphins and Bengals? Oh, bro, Dolphins are gonna smack you.
Okay, Marcus, what do you got? Who you picking in this one?
I'm rooting for Joe Burrow. Give me the Bengals.
And Tua I trust, so I'm going with the Dolphins. So we've got 2 against 2 on that game. The next game I'd like to see if we want to make some picks is, and I believe this is going to be a really phenomenal game. It is a Sunday night game. It's going to be the Chiefs versus the Buccaneers. And Mahomes had a little blow up on the sidelines, which I've never seen him do, and they're lost this past Sunday. And the Buccaneers lose to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers this past Sunday. They're both 2-1. They played the Sunday night game. Big Jake, who do you pick?
For the Buccaneers and the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, he's a hell of a player, so he plays with the Chiefs, right? So yeah, I'll go with I'd have to pick the Chiefs. I'm always on the Chiefs.
All right, cameraman. Chiefs and Buccaneers. Who you got? Tom Brady for Mahomes.
Buccaneers gonna grab that one right out.
All right. Marcus, who you got?
Well, the Buccaneers are having to take some evasive action to avoid Hurricane Ian right now. So give me the Chiefs.
All right. I am believing more in the Tampa Bay defense than I am on the Kansas City's offense. So I am going to go, as much as I hate to go and root for Tom Brady, I'm going to go for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that game.
Bro, they're gonna be so hungry during that game after Florida gets wiped out.
You're so crazy. So the last game of the night.
I hope you're right about that.
What did he say?
He says Bengals 20-10. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping.
Yeah.
And he's got Bucks to 21-7. And by the way, if you guys are putting your own little your predictions out there and they've been picking your picks, what my plan is that when we come back and do these things is to kind of revisit, and we'll go back to the chats as well and say, hey, this is what you picked. But also, just in case I don't, write your picks down and you make sure that you have them, because sometimes the live is not in the replay and I'm not sure how to fix it, but I'll try to fix it so when we go back and watch it, I can make note of what your predictions are. So he's got the Bucks also 21-7 over Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. What are you gonna say, cameraman?
Now, for you Cowboys fans, who you playing on October 23rd?
Hang on a second. So next game we're gonna pick this Sunday is the Commanders versus the Cowboys. This is a noon game this week.
Oh, bro, that's a no-brainer. Cowboys
are 2-1. The Commanders are 1-2. Big Jake, who you got?
I gotta go with the Cowboys.
Okay.
I'd have to definitely go with the Cowboys this time.
Yeah.
All right, cameraman, who you got?
Wise choice, Jake.
Yeah. Cowboys are gonna put some hurt on that one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Marcus, I think I know, but go ahead and want to tell everybody what your picks are.
We are going to take total command on Sunday.
Okay.
Y'all like that play on words there?
Yes, total Commanders. I get it. We get it.
Wait. Total
command.
Total command. That's a strong comment. So you saying they're gonna shut them out?
Well, dang it, camera guy. Now that you make me think about it.
You said total command. You didn't say just command. You said total command.
Total command. Means we're going to
I don't
tie
know.
their
It's
shoelaces
a
together
possibility
for
they
a
could
trip.
shut him out, though.
I don't know. Listen, let me tell you this. I don't care what team is out there. When the NFC East plays the NFC East, there always are typically close games. It's not like we blew out the Giants, and I don't think the Giants are all that good either. But it was a close game. You will see a close game with the Commanders, I think. But I'm also picking the Cowboys. Thumper has the Cowboys 17-13. Any other comments on the games? And who did you say? What week did you say who we play when?
October 23rd. Who are the Cowboys playing on October 23rd?
The Lions.
The Lions.
You know what's gonna happen if you don't win that game, right?
Listen,
We're not going to let you on the podcast.
he'd be banned. He'd be banned.
I am.
And
Every single thing is gonna be like, but did you beat the Lions?
oh gosh, we'll be talking about something completely different, and he'll just be like, "But did you beat the lion?"
Right, exactly. That'll be the punchline, kind of like Chuck Norris used to be back in the day.
Like we'll be sitting here with Nick talking about nuclear weapons, and the cameraman just walks in. He's like, "But did you beat the lion?"
Beat the Lions.
Right.
We're talking about Donald Trump, but did you trump the Lions? Fudge. Well,
Like, that's as good as a Super Bowl win for me. It's beating the Cowboys in a season.
you know what? Every team says that. Every team, when you come in and you beat the Cowboys because they are America's team, everybody wants to beat the Cowboys just because they keep saying that they're America's team. So anyway, I appreciate you guys coming over here. I was not sure, which me and Jake had this conversation earlier today when we did the promo. I wasn't sure who was going to be able to, who wanted to follow us when we talk about sports, because we know that there were a lot of people who were not sports fanatic, and that's probably why you didn't see some of the ladies that typically join us over here. But then also, there were a lot of people, and the ones who joined are the ones who said that they want us to start talking about more sports and stuff like that. So that's why we see this channel, and we're going to try to do more of these types of things. I had a good time. I really appreciated you guys in the chat joining us as always. Big Jake, parting words. Go ahead, Marcus. We forgot one thing. Sorry. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, no, I just had one thing. Oh, sorry. Back to the Cowboys real fast. So because we were at Liberty Junior High School together. I can't remember. Did you play football?
Not in Liberty, no.
No. Well, do you remember one of our coaches at Liberty, Jack
Flanagan?
Eskridge?
No.
Flanagan. I remember Flanagan, but Jack Eskridge. So Jack Eskridge was my football coach, or one of the football coaches in 7th grade at Liberty. Well, Jack Eskridge is credited with coming up with the double star concept, or the double star logo that the Cowboys now wear on their helmet. I'll have to find that article, but you can probably Google it. But Jack Eskridge. So where I'm going with that is, last week I was out at the Star, and got the picture with Drew Pearson, but I was able to walk through the eating area, and they've got a little like trophy booth, if you will, a photo booth with a plaque, and just talking about the Star logo and whatnot, and Jack Eskridge.
Nice.
So he was my junior high school football coach.
Nice. Maybe next week I'll have a better opportunity throughout the week to get some clips together, because I do want to provide highlights when we do these shows as well. I just didn't have the time this week. I was in that tournament all weekend. My wife and I had some things personally going on yesterday, and so I just didn't have a whole lot of time. But I'll have more time to start doing some of those things next week, and then I'll maybe even crop out Marcus's picture of him in the original '88, and show you guys that as well. So it's a great picture.
'88, huh?
He was the original '88. Yeah, come on, man, he was.
Oh, I thought you said me.
Yeah, you took a picture with him. See,
I thought you were
Marcus.
saying I was wearing the jersey.
See, this
Okay,
guy.
yes.
You don't even pay attention. He just mentioned that he was at the Star and he took the picture with Drew Pearson, and then I mentioned it, and he goes, "That is
No,
a good."
I thought you were saying that I was wearing the 88.
Bad hearing is a sign of an old dad, and that's a good segue to the dad jokes. So go ahead, Marcus, lay us on some bad dad jokes, sir.
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't even come prepared because I didn't. I didn't come prepared. I don't know if we were doing it on this channel.
Of course.
But I could probably come up with something pretty quick.
Yeah,
I don't know how great it'll be, but
well, will you do that? Let's go ahead around the horn, and you can just
see here.
You can add it to your final comments, and we'll go around the horn and say some final comments, and then when you get to you can tell your dad jokes at that time. So, Big Jake, any parting words, sir?
Oh, it was pretty fun doing something different, than our usual thing. But yeah, just my usual, just stay happy, healthy, and safe. And sometimes, I've been going through a pretty rough week, and no matter how hard life gets or how hard it feels, man, just like I always say, just keep getting up and rocking and rolling, and forgive me if tonight if I felt like I wasn't all there, I'm kind of think I'm coming down with something, change of the weather, so it's messing with my head, so I'm kind of foggy right now. So just want to apologize to everybody, but it was still I just wanted to be up here and show some support for everybody and show.
You're not supporting, man. You're part of the crew, so you're not a supporting cast member. You're the host, man. So hope you feel better.
I know.
We appreciate you always being on here, but make sure you take care of yourself. That's the number one thing.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Cameraman, parting words. Yeah, stay hydrated. Cameraman, parting words.
I thank you guys for having me on for sports night. I don't really follow sports that much, but I guess you can use me as the lay person on the ground to bounce things off of.
Sounds great, man. You're always welcome as always, man. I kind of get tongue tied there. You're always welcome. So it was a pleasure to have you as always, and we hope to see you back again next week as well. All right, Mr. Dad Joke himself, Mr. Marcus. I think he's ready.
Yes.
So, two guys walk into a bar. The third one ducks.
I know, it's fucking hilarious.
What is it again? Say it again.
Two guys walk into a bar. The third one ducks.
Okay.
Or if you want it to be a really slow burner, you just do the joke as three guys walk into a bar, and then you just sit there and smile. Wait for him to get it.
You guys walk into a bar, the third one duck.
Because he walked into the bar, like he smashed into it.
Yes.
It's not a bar as in place; it's a bar as in object.
Object, yes.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay, so see that's not fair, Jake, because you're not feeling well, so you're
No, I was saying that for me, like it just went right over my head, like oh god.
He's short enough that he didn't have to duck.
So, all right. So, why do chicken coops only have two doors?
Why the chicken what?
Why do chicken coops have two doors?
Yeah, why do chicken coops only have two doors?
I have no idea.
Because if they had four, they would be chicken sedans.
Because it's a coop.
There's Jake. There he is.
Oh. Okay, that was kind of funny. I'm like chicken coops, and I'm like, I didn't have that one. But I think I heard it.
How do you think those roosters always get all them hens? It's because they always hang out in coops.
Right? And coops. they can't move around that well.
That was actually pretty funny. I like that one.
Thank you,
Was that the last one?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, cool. All right, parting words, my friend.
Oh man, just yeah. Hope everyone has a good rest of the week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good. I appreciate all my hosts, cameraman, Big Jake, Marcus. I appreciate all you guys in the chat. I think I put something out there for all of you guys. Appreciate Big Thumper for putting in some subscribers to the new channel. If you are on the Facebook page and you see this video, please unsubscribe from Facebook, or you can stay subscribed. I don't care. But bring your subscription over to our YouTube channel. Eventually, not saying when, we're going to stop streaming over there because there are other podcast platforms I would like to be a part of, and I don't want to continue using Facebook as a podcast type profile. So I'm trying to bring all those subscribers that we have, like over 250 something subscribers over on Facebook, over here where we're only at 144, 143. And then this new channel here, Drinks and Discussion Sports. If you haven't already and you're on here and you're viewing us on our Drinks and Discussions regular channel, please subscribe to the sports channel as well. We would really appreciate you doing that. And because we're not going to be simultaneously streaming on both channels after tonight. I just wanted to put this out there because some viewers may have been looking for us on our regular Tuesday night and not seeing us on our live on YouTube. Better wonder where we're going. So I didn't want to leave you guys out in the dark. So we wanted to make sure you guys were aware that if you don't see us on that channel, we're going to be over here doing it live and drinks.
Don't forget the prize, everybody. Once we get 300 subs, Brian does that hot chip challenge.
Oh, is that
I gotta keep you all on that. That's good incentive now.
All right. And then by the way, I want to welcome. So you guys,
I might join him. Oh
yes, Marcus might join us. Yes. So Sharon, if you guys saw her in the chat earlier today, I'm not sure if she's still there. She and her friends are going to be talking on Drinks and Discussions Ladies Night. So she has a organization of golfers for ladies called Diamonds on the Green, and they are going to be hosting not just golf topics, but topics about women things, and they will at times have some of us, if not all of us, men on there to get a men's perspective. But Drinks and Discussions Ladies Night is going to be live, I believe, this week. If you haven't subscribed to the Ladies Night, please do so. They are going to need some mods. So the ladies over Drinks and Discussions, Liz, if you want to help be a moderator over there as well still, I know you had mentioned that to me, please let me know. We would love for you to still participate as a moderator on the Drinks and Discussions Ladies channel if that's something you wanted to do. So also the ladies on True Crime, Drinks and Discussions True Crime, that video went out Sunday night. That's a new criminal, super serial killer or whatever they discussed on Tuesday. So if you're into true crime, like that as well. Somebody asked me, I think it was Vegas, what was it? Vegas Joker? What's his name?
Yeah, Vegas Joker.
Vegas Joker asked me where or maybe it was Truth Teller was asking me. Someone was asking me in the chat where the movies, Drinks and Discussions movie was. I'm actually getting ready to do some movie reviews. There are a lot of new movies that are coming out, and I've got some that I am going to be watching, and I'm going to be doing some reviews. If you've been waiting for that, Drinks and Discussions movies is also coming down the pipe. And then, of course, you'll still catch us on Drinks and Discussions General from time to time as well. But we're just trying to get some of the other channels up and going, get some followers, and I hope you guys enjoy this format. It's still going to be some current things along with some of the sports games that we're going to be discussing. So your feedback is important to us. That's why we'd like for you guys to subscribe and make your comments. So, cameraman, Big Jake, Marcus, I'm Brian. We're Drinks and Discussion Sports. We wish you guys all a very happy and healthy rest of your week, and we'll see you back here next. Good night, everyone.
Take care.